If you have been a watcher to all things on the Facebook Live as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel, you've seen me wear the Hammer and Nails shirt. This guy said if I'm still wearing it by the end of the summer, it's getting ripe. I want him to know that I do wash the shirt, but it is the first time I busted out the koozie with my energy drink in here, covering up my Strategic Factory cup, but I don't think Keith minds that because he makes the cups and he makes the koozies like the Hammer and Nails koozie. Brad Beutel joins us, and it's the first time you've been on as like sort of a guest. But dude, I seem to think like you called in many years ago, and I knew you from South Baltimore and playing in the sports and social leagues and seeing you at blast games and seeing you at the arena, at concerts and whatnot, that I know you had a Sports Jones and you probably were some guy calling me yelling about some Bills outcome or something crazy 15 years ago, right?
Well, funny enough, you do have an incredible memory there, Nestor. I did call you once, and you actually, I think it was before the Ravens arrived in Baltimore, and you mentioned that the best tailgate experience you'd ever had was in Buffalo, and I had to call in and give you a compliment for that.
That was before I got here, before I'd been around. You know what? I still would say that the Buffalo New Year's Day tailgate when the Oilers lost to the Bills, I want to say it was in 88 into 89. Fell in love with a girl from Geneseo that night. Long story, Brad. You being near you're not a real Buffalonian, but you're almost a Buffalonian. But, yeah, that was pretty intense, and now – Preaknesses later and webcams and video cams. There's some very embarrassing things that happened in the Buffalo Bills parking lot lately. But what's going on, man? Hey, I'm getting a haircut this week, right? And I always talk about your place. And I said, you know what? There'd be no better guy to talk some sports and some local business than a guy that's vested like you. You're in the real estate world. I've known you from South Baltimore for going on a quarter of a century. And you called me about 6 months ago and you said, hey, man, I got a place that I think you're going to dig. It's like a man cave experience for haircut, manicure, pedicure, TV, hot towel, and all that. And I said, let me check it out. And I'm now, about 4 months into coming out, getting my hair cut, and having the experience. And I wanted to put you on just to talk about it, man, because, we talk about local businesses and people that go bricks and mortar and people that go to the Owings Mills Town Center and say, I see a vision of owning a business and making the world a better place. You did that. And I'm out here advertising it. So welcome in, man. Let's talk about things.
Well, I appreciate it, and I want to thank you for your business. And we're so proud that your haircut looks so much better now than it did just 3 short months ago.
Well, you're looking at the old pictures of the bleach is what you're looking at. You're giving me a hard time about all that. You and every Raven player.
Well, the main thrust of the business is the fact that men could never, ever feel comfortable about getting a pedicure or manicure at one of the local, female hoity-toity places where they just play Sex in the City on a loop all day, and you want to, rip your eyes out and tear your ears off. So what we want to do is create a man cave nirvana where a guy can have their own private headsets, their own flat-screen TV, and their own scotch or beer or adult beverage of choice. I
didn't hear about the scotch. What? I don't drink scotch at 11 in the morning when I'm getting my hair cut, but, I didn't realize, are you going to show me around the bar a little bit? I was just thinking like a beer or maybe like a Merlot or a Cab if I wanted one. But that would be, very salonish of me to ask for a Cab or a Shiraz, right?
Well, we actually carry wine as well, so we
I'm a wine guy. I prefer a Cab to a scotch. I argue that with Billick all the time because he's all hoity-toity about his scotch, so we get into that beef. But I love me some wine. But, I just think of it as like if I'm in your place, I probably would get a beer. Honestly, right? It looks like it deserves a beer.
Well, the thing that you get is your haircut all the time, and we suggest only getting a beer or soda in that room. You don't want your hair flying around into your single malt scotch. But when you're in the back, you don't really have to worry about all that.
I didn't realize that, right? Haircuts are pretty messy. Like if you have a coffee or something with a little lid on it, you're like, hair's going to get in it, man. Watch it. I wouldn't think about that with a snifter. Brad Beutel here. Hammer and Nails is in Owings Mills. It is a man cave nirvana. We talked about that. I've actually tried to book my haircuts around sporting events or around judicial hearings with the federal government or around an afternoon where I can bring my laptop. And it's kind of like low lighting. I mean, my wife always says, you can get work done there while you do this. Now, it's harder with a haircut, easier with a manicure or pedicure. Not manicure if you're trying to work on your hands, but it is a place that, like, it's peaceful. I'll say that. It's different than, like, going to the mall or going to the salon or going to the barber, that sort of. It's a different kind of experience, and I know a lot of folks, you had a lot of Ravens players come in there, haven't you?
Absolutely. I think Greg Roman is a member right now, and we have good luck with Ravens offensive coordinators. Marty Mornhinweg was also a member last year.
Well, your place is well coordinated then, right?
That's right. But to make a short story long, we really enjoy having the Ravens come in. But we also rent the place out for bachelor parties. And last year we had at least 10 different fantasy drafts in our back room. So the place is available on Saturday, Sunday night. Monday we're closed, so that's a great day where we do some corporate events, and we're going to start offering facials and massages on Mondays as well. So
I see up on the website, you can check everything out. If people want to get a little bit of a briefer in the experience, you can write to your mobile phone right now, pop it up at Hammer and Nails. Stop out, Owings Mills Town Center. I always like to tell people about the Negro Baseball exhibition they have on 4 floors in the library right across the front. The last time I was out, I met Alan McCallum. He went over. He's one of the curators there, doing all the really cool stuff with the Eli Giants, and it's kind of neat. So if you're on the square there, get something to eat, you can stop in, you get your hair cut, manicure, pedicure. I know you did a Father's Day special, but we're around all summer long. I've been getting my hair cut. I'll be in there this week. But, dude, I wanted to get you on not just to promote Hammer and Nails and talk about that, but talk about local business, because I know you listen to the show. You've been a listener for a long time. I've moved my career a little bit more toward the Baltimore positive stuff and putting on not just local politicians and leaders, right side, left side. Larry Hogan's coming on later this summer. We have Mayor Jack Young sitting with us this week. We're going to have Johnny O on in August, Ben Jealous. We're going around the state and talking to people about ways to make the community better, make Baltimore better. And I can't think of anybody that's more bullish on Baltimore. I mean, you've lived in Baltimore. You've chosen to live in Baltimore. And you've got like this wild background. You speak Mandarin Chinese. You spent years over in the Pacific. You're from a military family. But you settled in Baltimore and made Baltimore your home. And you live here and you've opened a new business here. Why Baltimore for you, Brad?
Interesting question. The main reason I had actually moved here is, let's say, physical. When I moved from Los Angeles to the Maryland region for a beautiful young woman from Silver Spring back in the day, but it coincided with...
it's always about a girl, isn't it?
It's always about a girl, you're right. But it coincided with my getting stationed at an airborne unit at NSA down at Fort Meade. And coming back from L.A. for 5 straight years as I was going to college out there, and I did play some college football, I just fell in love with the region. It was closer to my home up in Buffalo. I wasn't so remote out on the West Coast. And it was just like Buffalo with the blue-collar mentality, a beer and a shot kind of town, very inexpensive. And I also realized I could buy a house out here for pennies on the dollar compared to Southern California. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me. And, I've lived on Ford Avenue for 27 years. It's
wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
You are Baltimore positive. You're vested. I always say I'm not the chicken, I'm the pig. That's one of Billick's speeches, right? I'm in the meal. You know what I mean? Like you can't make. I'm in. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving here. I'm not moving WNST to Cincinnati or something. And you're not moving Hammer Nails, and you're not moving yourself either. So it is up to the citizens, the residents, the taxpayers, the business owners, the concerned citizens, the leaders to lead. And, this is a good time to talk about that. And certainly the experience of the Orioles, right? I met you through sports. I know you love going to an Oriole game, and I'm going to be going to the Padre game myself next week. I don't go as often as I used to. I know you listen. I've sort of been... very, very mistreated publicly in front of the world as I've tried to preach some truth and some insight into what's going on. But to see what's happened downtown and the exodus of sports fans and the exodus of sports to some degree has been disturbing to me after what I've built here over the last 25 years.
I'd agree. We also had a decent turnout this last weekend with Boston, but it is our bar is so low on the franchise right now. We think when 20,000 people show up, it's something special. Um, the stadium it's such a beautiful place, but it does have some issues. And of course, it's all about attracting our suburbanites. It doesn't seem like people are too afraid to come and watch their home team like Boston for pennies on the dollar compared to going to Fenway. And we're glad to have them here. But it's about getting the people up from Laurel and down from Timonium and York, PA, to get them back in the ballpark, and that's what Baltimore Positive's all about. Am I right?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, you know that these bars opening in your neighborhood, Federal Hill, Locust Point, the places that have opened and the places that have closed, I mean, I can't go to Reggie's anymore, right? So, there's these experiences in the cities change as they've changed. Look, I have the Baltimore, views book, right? All the aerial views over all the years, all the street views, city history, all that stuff that I know you hold near and dear as well. We've seen the city change many times. This is our time, right? This is the time where we're going to live here and shape what the next 20. Is there going to be a bridge over the harbor? What's Harbor Place going to be? How are we going to fix education? How are we going to fix poverty and crime? How are we going to fix finally, everything that happened with redlining 100 years ago around here and heal the city and make it better? And squeegee boys, homeless people. I mean, all of these issues. But Brad, like you, we live 10 blocks apart. I walk to the farmer's market every Sunday. I walk to the harbor. I had dinner at Roost Chris last week. I go to the east side of the harbor. I've eaten 1,000 meals at Amici's. I've walked back and forth for virtually every one over the last 16 years. I walked down toward your house. I was down at Harbor View the other day, down to Breezy's on the second floor at Harbor View because Sean Landetta was doing a cancer fundraiser down there. So, I get through the neighborhood as much as anybody. And the crime is obviously a huge issue here for the election next year, but that is the deterrent that's keeping people away, or the perception thereof, and getting people downtown. It's why it's here. It's here to be enjoyed. Every time I walk through the harbor, I think to myself, who wouldn't enjoy this experience? But it's been maligned more than it's a bad experience. I walk through the city. I walk through the harbor every day. I haven't been mugged. I haven't been shot at. I don't have those kind of experiences, and I do it every single day. So I don't view it the same way, but I certainly see what the perception of it has done to the city.
I totally agree. I'm very close friends with Lisa Richard, who happens to be the mother of Sebastian Richard, who was shot on Boston Street 2 years ago. Albo, Alex Robleski, was killed a block from my house. The fact I know 2 people murdered is way too many.
Agreed.
And I know of multiple friends that have been carjacked. I mean, there's crime is a huge issue, but at the same time, I can't think of all the things that I do in this city that I can pull off in another city. I can walk to baseball games. I walk to football games. I jump on water taxis and go to, Little Italy and Harbor East and all these great things. And because people ask you, well, how the heck do you still live there? What are you doing? What are you thinking? And I'm like, when it comes down to it, the quality of life and the things that this city can offer are so much better than even Manhattan sometimes. I go up there and I can't even find a local corner bar to grab some wings and a beer. Everything's so spread out and whatnot. The only city I'd compare it to might be San Francisco, but they have their whole myriad of problems.
I mean, look, I travel the country, right? I see places getting better. I see them getting worse, right? And we need to be a place that's getting better. And my wife, you know how like you go through life's journey. We were walking through Federal Hill when she had cancer, and she was bald and really, really skinny. Had lost 15 pounds of body muscle and weight, and she was gifted a shirt that was like the Baltimore skyline, looks like Baltimore Positive, and it says, Baltimore, it's not that bad. and she went to put it on the other day because she was going to wear, I don't know where we were going out somewhere, and she was going to wear it through the city, and it didn't fit the right way. I said, we got to get a new one. We got to update that one for you. So I'm going to get my friends at Strategic Factory to make me some Baltimore Positive swag. Brad Beutel is here. He is Hammer and Nails. He's been my friend, listener, sort of resident citizen guy for the last quarter of a century thereabouts, running around around town together. He's a partner at Hammer and Nails up in Owings Mills. We've been promoting them, getting me a haircut, manicure, pedicure, the whole deal. And now I know there's scotch. I'll go after dark, Brad, tell everybody how to get in touch with you and a little bit more about Hammer and Nails, promote what you're doing out there, because we're going to come on and do this a little more often and talk some sports and talk about the city. And I also know that you are doing a good turn this week, and I want to give you a little oxygen to talk about what you're doing down at Jessup, because we do talk about crime and all of that. Then we talk about sending these people to prison, and then we just forget about them, right? You're in a whole different place with that, and I want to give you a little chance to expand upon that.
This weekend I'll be doing my 10th Kairos weekend, which is a prison ministry. It's a long 4-day weekend where we really just shower 30 to 35 inmates, we call them residents, with agape love and a lot of really good homemade cookies. But these 16, 17-hour days, it's a formula that is flawless. I've seen it work 10 different times, 9 times out at the Hagerstown prisons, and this will be my first one in Jessup. But it's formulated from Thursday afternoon all the way through Sunday evening, and you see guys that when they walk in Thursday, you give them a mic to introduce themselves, and they might. We had one guy once, a gang member, said, "Hey, I just soon kill you all and sit here with you for 4 days." And then on Sunday, you couldn't get the mic out of his hand telling us how much he loved us, and we've changed his life.
Wow.
And you witness that transformation over just 4 short days, you're sold on it. When I started doing this, I figured I would just do it once to get my friend Tag to shut up, and now I'm in my 10th time. So it's rather addictive once you start it.
Wow. Well, that's the athlete in you, right? I mean, that's the military guy in you too, right? Like, we can fix it, right? I can coach it up. I know that every time I'm around Billick or anytime I'm around football coaches, they think they can take – everybody says, why would you take this troubled kid into your franchise? Because you think you can fix him, and that's – hats off to people that can do that and do that and roll their sleeves up. And so this is truly a retreat about saving lives, right?
That's all it is, truthfully. Saving souls, we'd like to think of it as. But the recidivism rate after these guys, or for the guys that participate, and the wardens and chaplains love us in the prisons because the violence inside the walls goes down significantly for the months following our Kairos weekends. So it's a win-win-win every way you turn.
Hey, man, it's great to visit with you. I tell you what, this is cool, and learning and having you on a little bit more. I'll be getting my hair cut, and we'll have some more deep thoughts. Hammer and Nails is out in Owings Mills. Tell everybody what they're going to experience, the ultimate man cave nirvana. They've heard me say it. You tell them about it.
You're better at it than I am. You're the professional. But I first got into this just because I wanted to get a nice haircut and a pedicure and manicure without feeling goofy. And I've more than done that. I actually own the state of Maryland with 2 partners, and my main goal is to get all the states sold out. We have the rights to 12 more locations. So if anybody wanted we call it a store in a box or a franchise in a box, if you're open or interested in becoming a franchise owner and making some money outside of your other career, this would be a smart way to go about it. And you can always reach us or reach me at my name, Brad Beutel, at Comcast.net, and I can tell you all about it. But even better, come up to our store, as Nestor's been telling you, and you can buy $150 worth of services right now on a Father's Day gift card through the end of the month for just $100.
Nice.
So that's kind of a training wheel way to get started.
Nice. Well, we'll send everybody out there, as we've been doing, Hammer and Nails up in Owings Mills. Brad Beutel, good to have a little deeper segment. Hey, man, keep up the great work this weekend and what you're doing and trying to rehabilitate folks. And I'm sure that you'll come back with some more stories and tell me about that in a couple of weeks, right?
I'm looking forward to it. And as far as rehabilitation goes, we also have saved, me and my wife Monique have saved 2 pit bulls. So even our home life is about saving some precious animals. Okay?
See, man, I bring you on, and I think we're going to wind up talking about the Sammy Hagar show I missed down at Wolf Trap, or the Who show that you saw in Philly. But we wind up talking about saving lives and haircuts and even animals. You snuck that in on me, Brad. Great to have you aboard, man. We'll see you out in Hammer and Nail sometime soon. Okay.
Can't wait.
You got it. Hammer, nails, Owings Mills. I've been telling you about it. Let's meet some of the people behind these businesses. We've done that with the folks at Fadley's. We're doing more of that with Baltimore Positive and what I've done around here with Bill Cole and my friend Bill Uriman and more Baltimore Positives we get going this summer. Don't forget, July is going to be a big month. I know you've heard the promo around here from Jim Palmer and Luis and Mike Messina as we celebrate all things Hall of Fame around here. So we do not have a Hall of Fame baseball team right now. Maybe Trey Mancini will be a Hall of Famer. Manny Machado's coming in next week. Well, Hall of something. I don't know where Manny is. Hall of take another day off, Manny. Sit down, young man. But our Hall of Fame month is July all month long. Rock and roll, baseball, football, and then my own personal Hall of Fame of awesomeness with like the Steve Sables and the John Stedmans and all that kind of stuff that I've rarely aired. So you are going to be in for a treat in July, especially if you're sort of new to the program or just picking things up around here. You weren't listening in, let's say, 1993 or 1995 or 1998 or 1999. 21 years of WNST, back to August 3rd of 1998 when we signed on, and even before that from WITH and WWLG. I am Nestor. You can find me out on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and Instagram and streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube, WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.